You are listening to Christian Audio's production of Sticks and Stones by Susan Meissner. This book is read by Tavia Gilbert. This audio recording was produced in 2016 by Christian Audio, which owns the copyright. No portion of this recording may be reproduced for any reason without prior written consent from Christian Audio. This edition issued by contractual arrangement with Susan Meissner. Originally published in English as Sticks and Stones, copyright 2007 by Susan Meissner. All rights reserved. Please visit christianaudio.com, facebook.com/Christian Audio, or twitter.com/Christian Audio to offer your impressions of this work and to explore additional titles. 1. 2007. Rachael Flynn got out of her car, stepping gingerly onto gathering snowflakes and pressing them into the asphalt at her feet. Above her, the sky was a swirling whiteness. 4 to 6 inches were in the forecast. It looked more like 8 to 10 to her seasoned eye. She had grown up with the peculiarities of Minnesota springs, and more than once had hunted for Easter eggs in fresh powder. She wished she could have picked a different day to visit her brother, but her return to part-time work after the move back to the Twin Cities left her with fewer days for personal agendas. And there were, after all, only certain days the prison allowed visitors. She might have been able to sneak in a weekday visit if she were Joshua's attorney, but the fact was, Joshua hadn't allowed Rachael to defend him when he confessed the previous fall to killing a man. Not even when she begged him. She'd been certain that he was innocent. And in a way he was. Morally, if not legally. Rachael closed the car door, and the padded air quickly absorbed the sound. Her husband Trace had tried to talk her out of driving the 100-mile round trip from their loft apartment in downtown Minneapolis. They had both watched the Weather Channel that morning and saw the forecast, though it had been accidental that they were watching at all. Their 8-month-old daughter McKenna had a fondness for the station and its colorful, moving weather maps. The Weather Channel had become a part of McKenna's morning routine as much as rice cereal and apple juice. "I think I can make it back before it gets too bad," Rachael had said when Trace suggested that she could wait until next Saturday to visit Josh. "It's not supposed to start until early afternoon." But the snow began to fall just after she left. It followed her south to the prison and was now fully committed to its task. Didn't seem fair. It was mid-April already. In Manhattan, where she and Trace had lived until 5 months ago, New Yorkers were walking the sidewalks in shirt sleeves and open-toed shoes. The only thing she could credit the snow with was the way it added a touch of elegance to everything it fell upon. It even made the prison look good. Rachael walked tentatively across the lot, noting that many others had braved the weather to visit the errant people they nonetheless loved. The lot was full. She made her way to the visitor's entrance and began to mentally prepare herself for her visit with her younger brother. Rachael had seen Joshua only twice since his sentencing, mostly because life had taken on a rather hectic pace since she and Trace moved from New York back to the Twin Cities. Her new job as an assistant prosecutor for the Ramsey County Attorney's Office was somewhat of an experiment for both her and her employer. She had negotiated a work week that amounted to 3 days instead of 5, so that she could spend Thursdays and Fridays with her daughter. The arrangement had translated into a challenging blend of court preparation and appearances on the trio of days that defined the front half of the week. Rachael had found it odd to be at the prosecutor's table instead of the defendant's. For the past 5 years, she had represented juveniles who'd made bad decisions and found themselves facing a judge. Now she spent her days representing the local human services agency and partnering in the county's effort to end parental neglect, a trigger for juvenile delinquency as much as anything. Rachael stamped her feet onto the floor mat just inside the prison entrance and then turned to walk down the long hallway to the registration area. The visiting commons was full of people, parents who had come to see wayward children and children who had come to see wayward parents. Wives and sisters waited in the chairs, brothers and girlfriends. She signed in and took a seat near a window to wait for Joshua to be led into the room. Her brother had tried to talk her out of moving back to the Twin Cities. It took a bit of convincing to assure Josh it wasn't merely pity for his circumstances that brought Rachael and Trace back to Minneapolis. And it wasn't pity that drove her to visit him at the prison as
Sample complete. Ready to continue?